Hi and welcome to Yoga Berry, your yoga for scoliosis community. My name is Christine Jareggi-Berry. I'm a yoga teacher specializing in yoga for scoliosis, and I've got a great practice for lumbar scoliosis curves for you today. Today from this new venue. This is actually where I teach my regular Wednesday morning classes, so I hope you like it, a little bit different. And for this practice, all that you will need is a chair. So get everything ready and then meet me on the mat. Good. So to start the practice, we're coming into mountain pose. Very important standing posture. So just bring your feet hip distance apart. Hip distance meaning the hip bones here at the front, so those bony parts that are sticking out at the front. The knees should be directly underneath the hips, and then the ankles directly aligned underneath the knees. And then let's spread, first of all, let's lift the toes off the ground. So I'm lifting my toes, and then see if you can spread the toes a little bit more. So you're kind of waking up your feet, getting a little bit more sensations into the toes. So if you want to kind of grow your foot a little bit bigger, lifting through the inner arches of the feet, pressing down through the outer edges of the feet. Notice how this starts to engage your legs. And then we're lifting up tall through the crown of the head. So just kind of before we start to adjust the posture here, just notice your contact with the floor. So close your eyes for a moment. And you might notice that there is more weight on one foot than the other. And just see if you can kind of shift the weight over to the foot that needs a little bit more sensation, a little bit more weight, just so that your weight is evenly distributed between both feet. Good, really lifting up through the crown of the head, drawing the rib cage in. And then open your eyes. So this practice is obviously for lumbar curves, lumbar curvature. Even if you have an S-curve, we are focusing on the lower part of the body. So for me, I've got a left lumbar curve. So you might notice when I don't pay attention, my left waist is long, and then there's a little bit of a dip here onto the right side. So yours might be similar, or it might be the opposite. If you have a right lumbar curve, it might be the complete opposite. So just kind of see if you can visualize that curve. So for me, it would be going here towards the left. And this is the side that is a little bit weaker for me, my left side. So what we're going to do is kind of draw in from that weaker side. So if that's the right side for you, feel free to modify, obviously. And then think about lengthening through the right waist if you have a lumbar curve, if you have a left lumbar curve, sorry. So we're lengthening through the right waist a little bit more, drawing in from the left waist at the same time. So you might be able to see if I collapse, I just kind of let go. And then if I engage the muscles, you might see how this starts to even out a little bit more. Good, so I'm going to do this one more time. I'm collapsing, letting go, and then engage through the muscles. I only take the arms out so you can see my waist, otherwise I would have them down here. So just notice what happens into the weight into your feet. So for me, this means I need to shift the weight over into my right foot a little bit more, and I need to lift up here through that, engaging through the left side a little bit more. Obviously, next time you're in front of a mirror, feel free to practice this in front of the mirror. So I'm going to do this so one more time. Just almost as if you're lifting up through that left hip slightly, contracting those muscles. I'm not actually lifting the foot off the ground. I'm just engaging the muscles. Good, let's do it one more time. And then let's release. Just coming back into that neutral place. Kind of coming back to that place where you've got equal weight into both feet. And then from there, we're going to grab our chair. So you take your chair, and I'm turning the back of the chair towards me. And what we're going to practice is a variation of Warrior One. So I'm starting with my left foot forward, and my right foot back. And I'm going to have the heel off the ground, so my hips can really be facing towards the chair. So classic warrior one would be with the heel down, but we're going to have the heel off the ground. And I just use the chair for stability, just so I don't have to worry about my balance. And then bend both legs, so bending both knees. Front knee is directly over the ankle. Hips are facing forwards. So for a left lumbar curve, your left foot will be forward to begin with. For a right lumbar curve, your right foot will be forward to begin with. This is going to be your most important side, which is why we're spending a little bit more time here. Good. So lifting up through the crown of the head here. And then see if you can stabilize this pose from here. So first of all, let's tip the pelvis forwards and backwards a few times. And then find a neutral place. Find a place where it's neither tucked under or the bottom sticking out. And then drawing up from in and up from the pelvic floor, drawing the belly in and up. Imagine squeezing all those muscles here around the lower back, around the hips. And then with this stability, we're slowly going to start to straighten the right leg. Now, if you have a fused spine, you will probably not be able to completely straighten. We also don't want to bend into the lower back. That is for neither fused or unfused spines. We want to do this with lots and lots of stability. So slowly start to straighten the back leg just to get this pull here at the front of the hip. And this is the muscle that gets typically very, very tight, the psoas muscle, with a lumbar curve. And for a left lumbar curve, your right psoas might be tighter than your left. So just kind of investigating a little bit on this, if that's true. Drawing the rib cage in, and then if you are feeling stable, see if you can bring the arms up over the head. Lifting up through the chest, maybe even looking up towards the ceiling. This has taken me right off balance, so I'm just going to look straight ahead. Feet are working really hard here. Good, and then let's slowly release, and then change sides. So this is hard work. It might look easier than it actually is. So let's bring the left foot back now. Now, typically, so for a left lumbar curve, this might be the side where the psoas muscle is a little bit longer already. We also don't want to shorten the right waist here. So really make sure that you're lengthening, dropping the right waist a little bit more, the right hip away from you. And then bend the left leg. Find that neutral place in the pelvis. Lifting up through the crown of the head. And then slowly start to straighten the leg, back leg. So notice, so for me this side is much easier, much longer, which is why I'm not going to spend too much time here. Just maybe quickly exploring, taking the arms up over the head, and then release. So if you felt a big difference, like I do, then go ahead and do the first side again. So left foot is coming forwards for me again, right foot is back. Bend both legs, tip the pelvis forwards and backwards. Find the neutral place. Stabilize, so drawing up from the pelvic floor, drawing the belly slightly in and up, and then slowly straightening the back leg. And then find that sweet spot, find that place where you feel this whole, that connection between the lower body and the upper body, where the psoas muscle can lengthen. And then take the arms up over the head. We're still staying with a long inhale, long exhale. And then let's slowly release. Releasing from that posture, we're going to come into half downward dog. So from the back of the chair, just resting the fingertips onto the back of the chair, move the feet back until you get that length in the spine where the hips are directly over the ankle. So you need to move back a little bit more. Bend your knees, lengthening a little bit more. So I'm trying to create this right angle with the upper body and the legs, lengthening through the tailbone, lengthening through the crown of the head forwards as well. And make sure you're not collapsed into the upper back here. So we're lifting the chest forwards and slightly up without collapsing into the lower back, but just kind of keeping the spine in a neutral position. Good, maybe straightening the legs a little bit more, only if that means you can still keep the back in a neutral place. Lengthening, and then let's think about lengthening the right waist a little bit more. So I'm thinking about moving the right hips a little bit back and the tailbone, as if the tailbone is pointing diagonally towards the back, to the left behind me. Good, and then let's release and slowly bringing yourself all the way up. Good, I hope you enjoyed this short practice. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. Please let me know in the comments. It means so much to me to hear from you, to see how you're doing, to see what is helping you. And if you haven't joined yet, please feel free to join the Facebook groups. Lots of motivation, inspiration, and education as well. So I do 4 weeks courses for yoga, for scoliosis on there as well. So please do join us. You won't regret it. And I'll see you very soon for the next video.